Hi boxing fans, this is Ben. This is my preview of Mikkel Kessler versus Andre Ward for the WBA Super-Middleweight Championship of the World in the Super 6 tournament. Now, for me, this is one of the best matchups of the year. I think hardcore boxing fans who will be watching this video will agree with me. May not capture the imagination of the general public like last week's super fight did, but we're talking about two tremendously skilled boxers here who are going to be facing off. Now, Mikkel Kessler, he has a record of 42 wins, only one defeat, 32 wins coming by way of knockout. Andre Ward has 20 wins, no defeats, and 13 by knockout. The bout's taking place in Ward's hometown of Oakland, California. Now, I don't think that's going to be a problem for Mikkel Kessler, seeing as he went to Australia and faced Anthony Mundine and beat him. He also went to Cardiff in Wales, where he lost to Joe Calzaghe on points, although he did very, very well in the first half of the fight. So he's not going to be affected by any kind of problems from the crowd or anything. He's not going to be affected by fighting away from home. He's also fought in Germany. Kessler, of course, is from Denmark, where the majority of his fights have taken place. Now, I've been studying the Calzaghe fight again, and also a couple of Ward's fights, including his bout with Edison Miranda, in an attempt to get an accurate reading of the fight and make a good prediction. Incidentally, the odds, at least here in England, with William Hill, Mikkel Kessler 6-4 on to win on points. Andre Ward is 3-1. You got, just looking around some of the potential knockouts in some of the rounds, you've got 28-1 for Kessler to win in the 12th round by knockout, 66-1 for Ward to win by 12th round and by knockout. I think a knockout is highly unlikely in this fight. I think we're looking at points, and I've had a lot of trouble deciding who I think is going to win on points. Now, Kessler has never been down in his entire career, although if you watch the Calzaghe fight, I believe it's the 8th round, he gets hurt with a body shot by Calzaghe. Calzaghe at this stage of his career was not known for being a hard puncher, because he had a lot of trouble with his hands, as good as he is as a fighter. So that could be a place where Ward could try and exploit, in other words, the body of Kessler, because if you punch him in the face, he seems to take it pretty well. Kessler is very skilled, very well schooled fighter. He has an excellent jab. He punches very hard with the right hand, particularly the counter punch. Again, we go to round 4 of the Calzaghe fight. You'll see Kessler, as Calzaghe's coming in, trying to go a bit toe to toe. Kessler catches him with a really good shot. I believe it's either a straight right hand or an uppercut. I know like in round 7 again he catches Calzaghe pretty bad as well, and actually stuns Calzaghe a couple of times. Calzaghe, of course, has a pretty good chin, so he's able to take it. I think Ward's been down once in his career. Obviously, he's still relatively green, as they say. Hasn't had too many fights, so we're not sure how good his chin is, but presumably it's relatively reasonable. Ward, I like a lot of what I've seen from Ward. He's extremely well skilled. He's mobile around the ring. He is pretty fast with his hands. Seems to have respectable power. I'm not sure I'd have the power though to knock Kessler out. All in all though, I'm going to go for the upset. I'm going to go for Andre Ward to win by points, possibly a controversial split decision. Um, I think he's got enough about him to avoid Kessler's best punches. Kessler is not the most mobile. He's relatively stationary, comes straight forward. As good as he is and as strong as he is, indeed, if he does catch Ward with one of his counter punches, then Ward could be in a lot of trouble. But you have to make a prediction in these things, and I'm gonna go for Ward to win it. Now, what I also like about Ward is how he conducts himself away from the ring. He seems to be a very laid-back guy, very respectful, isn't really into the trash talk, but of course believes in himself. Kessler as well, I like him, comes across very well. If you haven't had the opportunity, go to the Showtime website and watch the I think it's called the Fight 360. It's just a preview of this particular fight and a look at the Showtime tournament as a whole, and you get to see what cool guys Kessler and Ward actually are. It's quite refreshing in this day and age where you have people doing a lot of trash talk. Now, I do apologise for the state of my room. It's true that I just dump my clothes anywhere and don't really care, but I'm young, so that's what it's all about. Alright then, let me know what you think about this really exciting matchup. Hope it lives up to the expectations which I've got and which probably you've got as well. It's another late one for us in the UK, so I won't be feeling too good the next day. Probably be sleeping for the majority of it to catch up. I do agree with the boxing historian. Check out his channel. It is like having jet lag every week with all these fights. At least we have the week 2 weeks after we have the Amir Khan fight in the UK, which will be at a reasonable time, and I'll be giving a preview of that fairly shortly. Take care, guys, and enjoy the fight.